All right, guys, this is Jared. I'm not sure how the camera looks up there, but I'm at the Sugarhouse. It's Wednesday, July 29th. It's been raining. It rained Monday, rained Tuesday, raining today. I mean, we got a huge storm earlier today. It can't make hay. Just miserable for me because I can't do stuff outside like I want to. I'm at the Sugarhouse. I came down here earlier and bottled some syrup. So now in the past 2 weeks, I've bottled 80 gallon. I took some pails, so I've bottled 60 gallons of syrup in the last 2 weeks, which is great because I'm ahead on the syrup now. I did a little bit of evaporator cleaning. I've got my pans are out here to get some rainwater. Got to come down here and do some weed eating, but in the addition, right behind the camera, is my head tank deck. And for the eternity of the Sugarhouse, which was built for the 2014 maple season, I have been climbing up on that deck, which I built the deck in 2018 or 19. I've been climbing up on that deck with a ladder for 8 years or so. So last year, when I was doing a bunch of work down here, we bought the lumber to build stairs. And so that's what I have here. I have a 2x12 right here to build stairs. And so when I built my deck at my house, I built that, 2 summers ago, I built part of my deck at the house. I rebuilt it as a new deck. And I did it all myself. My nephew helped me a little bit here and there, but I did most of it myself. Tear the old deck off, pull the new deck on. And stairs is one of the things that's like, some people will get real nervous about making stairs. So that's where YouTube comes in. And you can go to the store and you can buy the little things that go onto a square, and you can make, it's like, I think they're called stair gauges. Is that what they call them? Something like that. I actually bought some and I ended up, I didn't use them. To me, I don't know, it just seemed like it was a little bit harder than it needed to be. So YouTube came in. So I did a YouTube search. I actually found a guy, I don't know his name, but it's Project DIY, Project Do It Yourself. And he used a term, I'll show you how to make stairs. It's simple, stupid, and it is easy. So you figure out your height, how high you're going to make the stairs, measure height. So mine is, I think, 84 inches, I think is what it was. And then average stair is about 7 inches in height. So then you take and make a jig. So I took a piece of wood and I made a jig. So I took this is 7 inches, this is my stair height, and this is 10 inches long, that is my tread length. And I mounted on another piece of 2x12, and all you do is take this and you start where you want to start, just wherever. Start with your first stair. Obviously you start towards the end, and you lay it on here and you trace it. And where the first one ended, I already got this one done. Where the first one ended, this next one starts, and you work your way down. So you take your height of your deck, whatever you're doing. If it's if it comes out in between, that's fine. You take your height. So say your deck, I think this one back here is 84 inches. So you take your calculator on your phone, you go 84 inches, and you divide it by 7. And it comes up with 12. So it says I need 12 steps to go 84 inches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for mine. Because I think it's actually not 84 inches. I think it's 70 something. Anyway, so I need 11 steps for mine. And it comes out to be that when you lay it out that way. Now the important thing is, the only thing you got to keep in mind, so this, on my stairs, this is the bottom. So this block is 7 inches. So if I lay this on there, that's 7 inches. okay? But this last one, right, so you do another piece, and you cut this back like this. And then this last one right here, this is the bottom, this is what's going to be on the ground right here. And you take that and you cut an inch off of that. That's an important thing to do, because that makes it so that this step with your on the ground, your deck board is going to go on top. So your deck board is going to add, your 5/4 deck board is going to add an inch roughly back to your height. So the first step is going to be 7 inches. That makes this be distance from your deck board laying in there to the next part is only 6 inches, but then when you lay your next deck board in, it makes it 7 inches. So you take off an inch off of the bottom one. That's the most important thing about it. And you just lay them out. So then when I get this one all cut out, I'll cut these out with my circular saw, and then cut the corners out with a jigsaw is what I use. Try to cut it out as straight as I can. Fix a little lines here and there where my lines aren't quite perfect. Try to make them a little bit better. And this will be my pattern. So what I have to do is I have to cut this one out, and then I'm going to take it over there, and I'm going to stand it up to see if I like the height, okay? I'm not sure. I might end up where, so I have two choices. So my deck's already done over there. It's built out of 2x6s with deck boards on top. So it's roughly 6-inch step. So when I do this, the hard part is, am I going to come out so that I have my 7-inch step? And so you have two choices. I put my top step, which is down there, underneath my deck and fasten it underneath and have it so that my deck is actually my top step, or I can have this come up to my deck and my top step be just a little bit different. So you might end up where your top step is not as high as the rest of them, or you could have your top step be just a little bit taller. But normally you would have it so your top, if you had any kind of misalignment or whatever, usually it would end up your top step wasn't as high as the rest of them. So there's two ways to do it to mount right. So I don't have the biggest, the deck is actually 6x6s, where the tank is sitting on 6x6s, which are on 6x6 uprights, which are going down underground, and there's actually concrete poured footer with 6x6s on the ground. So it's a 6x6 structure. So I use a 6x6 or 2x6s on the outside just to complete the deck, so it was all the same height. Normally, you'd probably have your deck would be 2x8s or 2x10s. 2x12s are kind of excessive, but so my top isn't quite as big as my deck at my house. I think it's 2x8s. So I'm either going to fasten it to the deck and my deck be the top step, or it's going to be fastened under, my top step will be fastened right underneath my deck, and my deck will be my top step that way. Either way, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does or not, but that's kind of what it is. And so I'll just kind of cut these out. I'll probably speed this part of the video up, and then we'll take it over there. We'll try to take it over. It's kind of dark. If I could turn that light on, maybe. My outside light, probably could turn that on. But it's kind of dark, but we'll see if you get the idea. Anyway, so I used to be a wood shop. I used to teach woodworking at school. Used to be a woodworking teacher. And one of the biggest things that I came up with, a lot of kids made the same projects. And man, if you as a teacher, if I would take the time to make a jig, it made my life way easier. So like if why my cord's so short. Well, let's see. Guess I'll just take it right out. So the only other projects I have to do is this addition. I never got all my wiring done last year, and I was always going to wire some outlets here in the addition. Haven't done that yet, and I got thinking about it the other day. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to open up the panel box one more time. I know you can't see me. And I'm going to make it so the addition out here has a sub panel. And I'm going to run 30 or 40 amp wire out here and have a sub panel. And then I'm going to hook the wire up into the panel box to a breaker and have a sub panel out here, and I'll wire this whole thing. And then I'll just have it feed off the sub panel and be done with it, rather than open up the panel box and run a wire, because I want to do some lights out here, obviously, and I want to have, basically, I don't know, probably run the outlets. I don't really want to put them on the poles, but that's about the only choice I have, is put an outlet on each pole. At least have, on this side, at least have two outlets. Probably at least have two outlets on each side, and maybe one or two outlets on the far wall. Because the far wall, I kind of have the idea, but that one part back there is going to be a loft and have a little bit of a storage area, whether it be place to park the heated place to park the Bobcat or what. But that's kind of what I was thinking. But anyway, I'm not sure how the camera's working, but we'll cut this out real quick. We'll probably speed this part up, and then we'll show you how to look at it. This was awesome. I bought this fence for this. It actually came with a fence, and then I bought it. I lost the fence. So we'll see if we can get this done. You could use a miter. You could use a sawzall, jigsaw. You could bust them with a hammer out most of the way, and then do the rest by hand saw. You could use a lot of different ways to do it. I think jigsaw works a little bit better. I do have a sawzall, but I think the jigsaw works a little better once you get started. So I try to do as much, as much by myself as I can. Do-it-yourself projects. I mean, I don't like to mess around with getting somebody to come out and do the, oh, I can come next week, and then next week comes, they don't show up, and stairs, if I, video that I saw by, do-it-yourself project on YouTube, then that was great. It's just exactly what I need to see. He obviously spends quite a bit of time building decks, and that's actually a second jig. Somebody threw the first one I made a couple years ago away, and I'm gonna just keep that, and it works out great. So this one down here right now is 6 inches, and when you put the deck board on, it'll be 7 inches, which will make this one 6 inches, and then put the deck board on there, that makes that one 7 inches. So now, let me go turn the light on, see if that works. It's a daylight, dusk till dawn light. Make sure we still have connection here. Make sure I didn't walk away too far from the camera. Make sure we still have connection once in a while. The microphone will lose connection. All right, we got you. So, just show you this real quick. So this is my treads. So this will be the bottom tread. And then down here, you just cut the back off. You just cut this all the way through and then cut that off. This is what's going to sit up against the deck. And so I'm going to set the camera down. And the light didn't turn on. Must not be dark enough. So I put the light in up there. It's a LED. I forget how many lumens. It's a pretty good amount of lumens. So let's see where we can set the camera so you can see what we're looking at here. Oh, right in there we get the come on. And it hit something. Oh, the chances of that. Hit the other screw. Back it off just a little bit. Okay. All right. So I can see the truss or whatever you call it for the deck right there, and I thought, oh, I'll just put it in the center of that while I hit the screw that was holding that together. So now I got it up. I'm not too concerned with the floor, with the bottom step, really. Looks pretty good. Looks like they're over to the, looks like they gotta go to the right a little bit. So, I can't tell if I gotta go, I might have to go down. Might have left it. Be nice to have just a little bit more room, but I gotta go down a little bit. I want to make it so that this is flush with the one that's there. So I'm gonna go down a little bit. That's pretty good. Use another, I'm gonna put this in another hole here. Boards get all waterlogged. Make them screws disappear. I think that's what I want right there. I want it down a little bit. And then we gotta try to get it level. I like it like that, as long as the treads are right at the top. Not sure. We'll just put this in there. And if I had to take them down, it would not be fun. But being able to do it is one thing. So the only thing I'm wondering about is if I got the height right, or, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It could be a little bit low, and then, but stairs are level. I'm about the deck. And then we got to go shift them to the left a little bit. So get this cord out from underneath here. Sitting pretty flat. So that's good. Cord out from underneath there. And I think that looks pretty good. I just can't tell. I'll find a piece of deck board. So this deck board here, these originally were scraps from the other stairs. And I thought I was going to make these stairs this wide, but that's too wide. Not by much, but too wide. We'll get this up there and see if I can. I'm just trying to see if I'm flush with the top, so I'm a little bit low. Well, that's weird. On one side, but not the other. Huh. Come on. Hello? What? What's the matter? Hello?
Daddy?
Yeah, what?
Where are you?
I'm at the Sugarhouse. What are you doing?
Are we going to Miss Rachel's or not?
No, probably not today. It's raining. I gotta go get Judd. Okay? You alright? Just a little bit of a, gotta go up. All right. Well, this side over here, maybe the camera can see, this side over here is just a little bit low for some reason. I don't know if the deck's not level or what. So I don't know if I want to do the, I guess we'll do the stair. Pretty close. So I guess we'll try to bump it up just a tad bit. And then we'll call it good for a day. pretty good right there. I'm not sure if the stairs are off a little bit or the deck's off a little bit or what, but we got just a little bit of a lip there. I think it's going to be fine. So then I just have to figure out how wide I want my treads to be and cut all them and then put them on. So this video will be continued tomorrow or the next day, whenever that is. We'll complete them. So we got our center good, so I think we just want them to stick out just a little bit. About like that, it's probably good, about 3 inches on the side. That'll give you what, 22 inches. It's probably pretty good. And then if it sticks out, big one's down here where you gotta go. Three inches right there, and then is there 2 wide. This would be 18. All right, well, I have to go do other stuff. So we're an hour and 34 minutes into this video. Probably be back tomorrow, whenever, but we'll make it all one video. That one took a chunk out of that one, huh? If I make these on here, they'll be like 24 inches from outside to outside. I think that's fine. I mean, it's wider than a ladder. And I still have room to get in there, and I still have room to get in here. So if I broke that pipe, I guess I'd be able to fix it. Plus that one's underneath the stairs anyway. And then we'll probably just make a deck, run right out the same height as the stairs, all the way out over top of all these pipes. So that makes it so you just come up here and walk on the deck, and you get back here without having to worry about stepping on pipes or tripping over pipes or wires or whatever. Have everything run underneath and up to where it's got to be. So yeah, I think that's going to be good. So we'll continue this next time. All right, guys, we're back. This is the next day. So I didn't get a chance to come back down. I think it was 4 o'clock when I left yesterday. I didn't get a chance to come back down. So I'm working on the stairs, and I have some of the treads on. So ended up being that outside of the runner to outside of the runner up there at the top was 19 inches and 5/8 inches. So I put one of these middle runners on, or one of the middle treads on, and then I've got 5 or 6 of them on, and I've got the rest of them just kind of laying in here. So I ended up going with 24-inch treads. And, you know, I mean, it's wide enough that you're going to be able to go up no problem, right? No railing. I mean, this isn't some place where, people can go up there if they want to, but, I might put, I don't know, like Maple Weekend, we do Maple Weekend in March every year, and I always want people to come out here and look at the tanks and stuff, and I don't think anybody ever does. But this year, coming up for Maple Weekend, I'm looking to be a little bit more inviting for that. We got the stairs done over there, got some gravel to fill in around the bank over here, and I do signs, and I'll put more signs up. And we're going to try to encourage people to come out here and check out the tanks. I mean, you can't, the camera is sitting on the tank, which is 6 foot tall. You can't see in it. I mean, it's up on 4x4s anyway. You can't see in it. So the only way to see in the tank would be to climb up on the deck, and you could look while you're up there. You could check out the head tank, and we'll just make a sign that says, "Hey, there's no railing. Climb at your own risk," right? Or something like that. I don't know. I mean, you could touch the wall. It's not that far away. I could touch the wall. Obviously, I don't want to put a railing because I don't want to have any constraints as far as the space that I have to work. But so went to the horse barn to feed Laney's calf, and I thought this morning, well, maybe there's some screws over there. So I found some screws. And they're like in a little jar here. They're a little mismatched. Let me try this on my hat. See, people wear it on their hat. I don't really like that. Elliot wears his like that. We'll try that. Keep just barely touching it with what little beard I have. So I have about half of these have a tread down, and I'm just going to go ahead and slap the rest of them down. I cut them all. I set up I used my miter saw with the fence, and I actually cut the first one 25 inches because I thought that this doesn't make sense lumber wise, but I thought I wanted a little bit more overhang. So then I was like, yeah, I guess I don't need that much. I was thinking like this was 19 inches and 25 would give you 3 inches on the side. But it's 19 and 5/8, and you get 2 1/4 on a side roughly. So I'm actually just measuring this left side 2 1/4. The other side's actually a little bit under 2 1/4. But if you're going to be short by, I don't think it's even 1/8 of an inch, you might as well be short over there on that side. But I do have enough room to come in here and reach down there and get that valve if I want to. So we close that valve I actually close the valve when we're filling the tank up with sap. Just in case, a pipe freezes and breaks or something when you're not here, the sap will at least be contained in the tank. And then I have cam locks. All these pipes are cam locked in. So worst case scenario, I could undo the cam locks and I could take the pipe out and I could fix it. If I had pipe, I would just take the pipe right out of here and go measure and make another one. But hopefully we don't ever have to worry about them breaking. Sure, I'd love to have stainless steel, but let's face it, if these break, it's going to be because they freeze, and stainless steel would be at risk of freezing too. If these are at risk of freezing, so would that be, right? So we're just going to put down some more treads. I've already got the majority of them have at least one on. So we're going to finish putting them down. And then once I get the back one, so I'm only measuring for the back one. There's this mismatch screws. There's some that are a little bit longer in here. Of course, I thought about that. Didn't think about that quick enough. Yesterday, I went right by. That's how it works, right? Yesterday, I went right by 2 hardware stores. And I could have got screws no problem, but I didn't think about it. And so, and then these screws, somebody has just dumped them in a thing and they're all mixed matched. They didn't sort them. Some of these look like they've actually been used before. And it actually works better to put just one on because you can't, the back screw right there. I'd like to put it back just a little bit farther, but I've got something in the head there. But I can't quite reach back how I want to. So I'm going to go through and put the back one on each one, and then then I won't have to measure for the front one. I'm just measuring 2 1/4 on this left side, and letting the other side be what it is. They do have a little bit of the runners. Stringers do have a little bit of a run to them, but they'll be fine. Once you get all the, when they're going to serve the purpose, you're going to be able to climb the steps, and you're not going to note, just you can notice it now. It was actually a Phillips head thrown in there. You can notice a little bit of a run. I don't know if the camera shows it now, but from here it doesn't look bad. We step back there, you can see that they're got a little bit of bow to them, but once you get all the treads on, you won't see that at all. I think there's probably a lot of stringers out there that end up that way. It's real easy to put a tread on and mismeasure and get it pulled in tighter on one side, or more open on one side, or whatever. Or it could be like me and have the lumber has a little bit of a bow to it when you started, because you bought it maybe 2 years ago, at least a year ago, if not 2 years ago. So that's a possibility too. Now the deck boards, they're nice and dry. I don't think they're gonna do much. The deck boards have been sitting in it. I mean, they've been piled pretty nice, so you can tell by picking them up, they're nice and dry. Get that one in. Don't see any. Got that one. Try to find a couple longer ones. Get this one, and then we'll have one for each one. So the cool thing about it is that jig that the do-it-yourself project guy shared. I mean, that saves a lot of work. Get your pattern. If you're, I don't know, if you're building small ones, I know you can buy stringers. I doubt it's. I'm sure it's more expensive. I don't know if it's much more expensive. I'm just gonna climb up here and do a couple. Yeah, just a little bit of shake to them. The bottom, I'm not sure what we're going to do about the bottom. You move one stone in the gravel, and they sit good, and then you walk on them or something and it shakes, and then the stone's not sitting good anymore. There's exactly what I wish I had more of them. Some longer ones in there. So, just gonna climb up here real careful like. Not get too excited. course, I forgot my tape measure. Slide this over. And it turns out the top is like a little bit, it's not quite what I want. It's got a little bit of the deck board must be, I don't know if I'll show you that or not, but the deck board there for the actual deck is a little off. I don't know if the Alright guys, we got them done. So we'll see if I can give you a different view here. So this is the steps. I don't know if you can see that twist in that one or not. It looks a little wonky, huh? I actually think the deck is the deck's off a little bit, and it's kind of throwing them off just a little bit. But the tanks are not, these tanks are not perfectly square with the building either, but looks pretty good. It's funny how you can see this stringer on the left's got a little bit of, you can tell that one's got, this one looks straighter, but depends on how you look at it a little bit too. And it's funny because it looks like it's narrower at the top, but it definitely isn't. But anyway, we got them done. So as I was messing around with them, putting the decking on, it's funny how you get on the steps and you're like, like I was a little nervous about turning around on there, but they look pretty good. So the ground is a little uneven. It looked better from up here, but you can tell, I think that's because of the ground down there on the left, looking down on the left corner. But hey, they are gonna work, and you can see in the tank nice up here. So the only thing I didn't think about is I bumped my head on this line here. That's my line for my concentrate. So that is something that I might redo, because now that we have the addition here, I can go straight up the wall and come over, and I wouldn't have to have this little The little spot right there. That was just, you know, that was a way for me to do it that I didn't have to go out the peak and have a hole that I didn't want. But now, I think I might actually cut a hole right there in that soffit and go straight up one of those 2x6s and then have it bend over and come, because this right here, I think it's only ever happened maybe one time. This is a freeze point. So you can see the top one's a little wonky. This deck board right here isn't quite flush with the facer board. It's got a little, right here it's a little bowed out. So then I just put it on there and I put just a little bit overhang. I think that's fine. I didn't want to put too much overhang, catch your toe on the top step, that'd suck. So it's not quite the same gap right there, but that's fine. I have wanted these steps for so long. So long. You step right out here. Of course, you get used to going up and down them without a railing, but you know, some people, I've been going up and down steps and ladders and things without railings forever. Some people, as soon as they get on steps, man, they grab for that railing. Got, you know, issues with vertigo or whatever. I have issues with vertigo, but those are pretty good steps. I'm happy with them. Well, like I said, the not being square with the deck and not being square necessarily with the building. I tried to measure off the building, but it's not quite. I don't know if the deck's off a little bit or what, but it didn't work to do that. So I'm not going to worry about it. I have enough room on each side to work on them, to work under them, I should say. So that is real good. I'm real happy. Got this wire here goes up to my outdoor light, and I left it long in case I wanted to move the light. And I think if I remember right, I do want to put the light up a little higher. So we'll pull that up and shorten up the wire at some point. Kind of sticks in the way right there. And then we'll just figure out some kind of decking to go over top of all these pipes. I think I could just cut some 2x10 pieces to fit between the pipe and then just piece it together. I think that'll work. But that's what we have for today. We're all done. It's like, what time was it? 10:33. Thursday, July. Yeah, right. July. The longest month of the year, I think. 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. Has rained all week. We haven't done hay. I have not touched a hay tractor in over a week. It looked like we're going to have good weather towards the end of the week, and now it's changed again, and just not, I don't know. We're going to be doing hay in August for sure. Got one more property to do, like 60 or 70 acres. So I bottled syrup yesterday, started the steps yesterday, finished them today. Do have some interesting things happening with the skid steer. We'll talk about that when things get closer to actually coming through. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. I'm Jared. Have a great day.